On another day, as I was about to, I was getting ready to leave, and I already hugged her, was at the door, and she looked at me. She said, "You know how much I need you, Dane." That got me. So I hugged her again. I kissed her again. She kissed me. She hugged me. And then I left the room, and I stopped in this really amazingly beautiful prayer chapel. Some of you have been there. You know, you've prayed there. Amazing prayer chapel, great energy. And I sat there, and I was upset. And I wanted things to be different. I wanted things changed. I pictured her coming home. I pictured her being healthy. But I need to tell you this, you gotta know, it wasn't helping. I wasn't feeling any better. In fact, I was feeling more removed from her. And then, while still sitting in that beautiful chapel, I saw the light in her eyes. And I felt the strength of her hug, and trust me, she's got great upper body strength. She really knows how to hug. She has not lost that. And I felt the warmth of her kiss on my cheek. And I began to feel happy. You see, I was happy for what my mother and I had in that place, in that moment. Nothing had to change. All the love, all the joy, all the happiness that we needed was present in that moment. Nothing had to change. By the way, just for the record, the rehab facility is not a hellhole. It's the finest rehab facility that I've ever seen, and I've been in many, especially since in my legal practice I served people in similar circumstances very often. And my mother was not always of that attitude. She made many friends there. I know this from talking with the staff. And she also herself comforted many new incoming patients that were upset by being there from the beginning. And she'll be getting home in about 30 minutes. A Course in Miracles says, it has taken time to misguide you so completely. But it takes no time at all to remember who you are, to be who you are. In the words of Eckhart Tolle, whom I've been again studying, I've studied him I don't know how many times, I'm doing it again with new material of his. He says, to be who you are, to be the essence of who you are, is to move beyond your conditioned mind structures. What? What's a conditioned mind structure? It's the little me and the little you that says inside that either demands or whines or screams, make it different so I can be happy. Change the circumstances so I can be happy. The conditioned mind structures are all those feelings of resistance, or I shouldn't say all, any feelings of resistance that you and I have to what is going on in life. And then Eckhart goes on to say, the only access, he doesn't equivocate, I love him, he's very clear. He says the only access to the essence of who you are is through the little doorway of now. The little doorway of now. Where have some of us possibly heard this before? Ministers love this. I mean, well, anybody loves it, but I mean, as a minister, it's like, that's what that means. Finally. Because I've read it for years. It's like, what was he saying? In the book of Matthew, from the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said, enter through the narrow gate. For wide is the gate, and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate, and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. What narrow gate is he talking about? It's the little doorway of now. This is a highly metaphysical statement, and it's true. It's true as to everything I know about the experiences in my life. And how do I understand it in this way? I do so through its context, because just moments before he says these words, he says, judge not, lest ye be judged. Where do judgments lie? Judgment comes from either defending a story from our past or trying to create a story in our future. That's where judgment comes from. That's the only place it has power. You're judging the past, trying to preserve it, or trying to create something that isn't here yet. And out of that issues judgment. As soon as he says that, he goes on to say, ask, seek, knock, and the door of life will be open to you. What tense are those? Remember your English. Ask, seek, knock. Present tense. And then he says, enter through the narrow gate. He's talking about now. Living now. Life only exists in the now. Life has no existence in the past or the future. And because life is now, happiness is now. Or it's not. Whatever is happening in your life, whatever it is, when you allow this moment, this one, to be exactly as it is, the whole illusion of separation, the little me, collapses. It collapses. Judgment cannot stand. Upset cannot continue when you accept the gift of life, when you accept this moment, when you say, this is it. I first heard those words in this context in EST training many decades ago. At the end, it's like we keep waiting for, what's the punchline to this training? What are we supposed to walk away with? And what we were supposed to walk away with was this. They said, this is it. Right now, right here. Don't look elsewhere. You don't need to. It's all right here. This is it. This is your life. This moment. Say yes to your life. Say yes, this is it. And then feel this moment. Don't just acknowledge it here. Feel it in every cell of your body. Feel it with the essence of the presence that you are on the planet. Because the essence of your present transcends your body. How do we stay anchored in the present moment? There are very simple practices, very simple. Doesn't cost anything, doesn't take any extra time. Become a witness to the skies. Watch the skies, the ever-changing skies. I was recently on my first road trip since 2006, and in 18 hours of driving, I spent much of the time watching the skies. And I say skies, not skies, because what I saw was the sky changes dramatically from place to place. It's not the same. I can't tell you how. I can't, if I took a picture, I don't know if I could capture it, but I could see and feel that in each place I went, the sky was different. We think of it as one thing. Sky, you know, we're on the globe. It's not. It's different. Every place, every sky has its own unique energy. So each day, look up. Look up. Notice the skies. As the senior gentleman described, watch the nuances of the weather. Move beyond good weather, bad weather. I'm not saying you have to like it. Simply notice. Maybe you'll begin to like all the weather. And be witness to all the faces that cross your path. Whether you speak a word to that individual or not, simply notice the faces. You see, there's a story, there's a present moment story in every face. And as you do this, as you watch the skies, see the nuances in the weather, take in all the faces, you may begin to notice that you are everywhere right now. You are everywhere in a single moment. You need nothing from the past, nothing from the future. Life becomes friendly, and you can be happy. Are you happy now?
Yes.
That makes more than two of us.